Fallout 4 is full of secrets, and in this guide I am going to show you how to gain access to a secret area in Diamond City, how to gain early access to the castle armory, a picture with an uncanny resemblance to someone we all know, and a hidden settler that chances are you probably didn't find that you can recruit into one of your settlements. Hi, I'm Mo and I'm trapped in Fallout. You've probably been to Diamond City, and right now I'm outside Diamond City myself. The secret area I'm referring to, which probably most people know, but I don't think everyone does, is actually a hidden area which seems to have been added in the game, but purposefully or potentially mistakenly cut off from everyone who plays the game. To do this, you need to first be outside Diamond City, and from here you need to follow this route here, due east. As you follow this route, on the right hand side you will find what seems to be a parking lot of sorts, and if you haven't been here before you will find a couple of dogs, so they will attack you on sight. I'm gonna just ignore them and just make my way to the very right hand side and use this scaffolding stair like structure to make my way to the top. Once you get here, you now need to look to your left and then follow here and then through the hole over here in this wall. Now keep on going this way and you should see a set of stairs. Just go up one flight of the stairs and then look to your left and you should see a door here. And from this door, you probably noticed that booby trap there. And from this door, what we'll need to do is jump onto the top of that wall over there. And then from that wall, we are going to jump on top of that roof over there, climb to the top of that skylight feature, and from there jump across, and their secret room is actually right over there. Now to do this, it is actually quite tricky, so I tend to use some buff jet because that does appear to prolong how long you can jump. It slows down time and it makes your jumps a lot more easier. So I'm going to do a quick save here and I'm just going to use some buff jet, and once I've done that, you've basically got 15 seconds to do this entire process. So you jump here, from here we're going to jump all the way over here, from there going to jump on top of that skylight light feature, and from there going to jump all the way here, and just about now, perfect timing, our buff jet just run out. So you will have about 15 seconds to jump all the way from that ledge over there to here. Now once you do make it here, if you now just follow this east and then jump over this railing over here, you will find that this appears to be some content that was added to the game that appears to be basically a secret area. So if you have a look, there is a power armor station, there's a bed right over there, there should be, and there is, a mini nuke over here, and there appears to be a settler here as well with nothing really of high importance. Now there really isn't anything else going on for this area other than the things I've mentioned, but it just shows that this is basically a hidden area, and if you have a look at the aesthetics of the wall, it does fit in the theme of Boston and with the theme of Diamond City in general. For our next secret, we are going to visit the castle. In particular, we're going to try and gain access to the armory before we're actually allowed to. So if you've taken the castle, again spoiler warning, when you take the castle, which happens to be the location, the central location of the Minutemen, you will eventually, after taking the castle, bump into another NPC who will then take you on a small side quest to give you access to the armory. And that essentially means that you cannot gain access to this section of the castle not until you've A, taken the castle, and B, completed that small quest line with an NPC called Ronnie Shaw. However, there is a simple trick you can use to actually gain access to the armory significantly earlier than having to do that quest. And the way to do that is to use the rug glitch. So in order to do this, if you haven't used the rug glitch, I'll try and explain it as best I can. You need to gain access to the settlement first of all, and it's actually very easy to do. Once you actually gain access to the castle, and you don't have to follow the Minutemen quest to do this, you can just simply visit the castle like I have and just take out all the enemies, and the moment you've done that, the workshop over there should be accessible, which is what I've done as well. Now, before I actually show you how to gain access, let me quickly explain the rug. So to use the rug glitch, you need to go into settlement build mode, decorations, and then floor coverings, and then just place down a mat. So if I place down a mat here, notice that, well, this is just a mat. Now if I get a second mat and say place it over here, I can basically move them independent of each other, right? However, if you slightly overlap one mat on top of another one, so if I just do this, just ever so slight, if I now select this first mat, then the second mat moves as well. Now this isn't really too interesting, but the interesting bit is that I have selected the first mat and not the second mat, and as a result, when I move this mat, the second mat's collision detection isn't really taken into account. So I can basically do this. I can place this mat over here and notice that the second mat has sort of clipped into the wall, and again, that is because I've selected the first mat and the second mat doesn't take into account the fact that there's a wall there or there's a closed door there. Now if I basically repeat this with just a single mat, notice I can't place it here because of the collision, but if I do it this way, then I can place the second mat there. And we're going to basically take advantage of this very fact and gain access inside this. And the way to do it is to go to your resources and then go to miscellaneous, and from here you want to get the fast travel target, and let's just place that over here just to see how it works. If you're not sure how the fast travel target works, when you place one in a settlement, from that point onwards, whenever you fast travel in a settlement, you'll actually teleport to that very specific location as opposed to appearing where you usually do. So if I exit settlement mode and if I just fast travel to the castle, then notice I've basically fast traveled right on top of the mat. And this is exactly what we're going to do to gain access inside the armory. What we're basically going to do is do a little bit of cheating, and we're going to place the mat right on top of this second mat. Then we can basically do this. So if I put the mat, say here, notice I can't put it here because again, the collision between this gate and the mat itself. But if I do it this way and I go as close as I can, theoretically speaking, that mat has now bypassed this entire vault door and is on the other side of the wall. So now, if I fast travel again, I have now basically fast traveled right inside the armory, totally bypassing this door. Now there is a slight issue with this, and by issue I mean this button sadly will not work, nor will you be actually able to go down here, which is another part of the quest that is sort of unlocked, or rather the location that is unlocked when you do the quest. However, you do gain access to the armory, so you can go through here and you can gain access to all of this loot right over here. So we're not going to go through this, but you can gain access to the artillery schematics and so on. Now if you want to go back, then you can basically just repeat the process. So you can get your mat here and you can try and grab one of the other mats if you have one. So you can just sort of do this, and again you can just let me get this right first of all. You can just place this mat as close as you can. That might not do it, so you might need to get a second mat like you did the first time. So let me just quickly do that. So if we just quickly put that down and fast travel back to the castle, then notice I'm back outside. So you can use this trick to again gain quick access to inside the armory in the castle without actually having to do any of the quest portion of it. And if you made it this far into the video, then please do consider liking this video. You already know by now I really like to read and reply to as many comments as I can. So if you found any particular secrets in Fallout 4 that you think are interesting or you're fond of, then please do share it in the comments of this video, letting us all know about it. Right, this next one isn't particularly a secret, but something I recently came across and I can't believe I didn't see it before. I've been playing for almost 10 years now, and I just can't believe I haven't seen it. To see this particular thing, you will need to go to the Dugout Inn in Diamond City. So let's do that first. When you enter the Dugout Inn, you will notice that the Dugout Inn has a number of pictures / portraits / photographs mounted on the wall. So for instance, there's one right over here, and then there's another one right over here. And if you just look around, you'll find that there are plenty all over the place. However, I found one that, again, I can't believe I didn't notice for all these years. If you go into room number 1, and I'll turn on my Pip-Boy flashlight for a little bit of luminosity. If you have a look at this picture, so there's one of a lighthouse, there's another one over here, this one over there. From a distance, that basically looks like a very famous painting of Napoleon Bonaparte. However, if you take a closer look, you will notice that that face resembles someone, well, not Napoleon to start with, but that resembles someone very different. Now, if you are thinking what I'm thinking, let me know in the comments of this video below, because I think that that's an interesting thing to share. And again, I can't believe I've not known this for all these years. Now, for the last one in this guide, I am going to show you how to recruit a very unique settler for any one of your settlements. And to do this, you will need to make your way to Hotel Rexwood in Good Neighbor. Now, just in case if you didn't know where Good Neighbor was, it's right over here, which is far northeast of Diamond City and just south of Bunker Hill. So once you make it to Hotel Rexwood, go inside. Now, once inside, you will need to locate an NPC called Rufus Rubens, who should be right over here. So speak to Rufus. When he asks you, select option A, my kind of place. He'll ask you about potential work. Select the option could use work, and then select I'm in. As a result, Rufus will ask you to go and visit Shamrock Tap House, which is just southeast of Good Neighbor. And once you make it to the location, go inside. Once inside, you will find that this place is filled with raiders and some mole rat. So once inside, just follow northeast, and when you get to the end of the corridor, take a right, go down to the very end, and you will need to open this door, which will be locked with a novice lock. After unlocking the door, just head towards the south and use this door over here. Go down and you will find yourself in the basement / cellar of the building. You will find a number of mole rats. Make sure you take them out, as it will make life a little bit easier in a moment. So I'm just going to quickly take them out off screen. And after you've taken them out, you will need to access this terminal here that will be locked with an expert lock. Once you've unlocked it, just access the Protectron control and say activate unit, and then exit the terminal and now speak to the Protectron. This is the drinking buddy, a Protectron, a very unique one in fact, and he will give you a drink. Once he's given you a drink, he will ask you what you thought about the drink. Select the option cold and refreshing, and then he'll ask you what you want to do. At this point, you can select the option I'm keeping you, and then select I'm ready. And as a result, you can now send him to one of your settlement, officially making him one of your settlers. After you send Buddy to any one of your settlements, he will essentially behave just like any other settler in your settlement. I thought it'd be interesting to add him to this guide simply because he's unique and chances are not many people know about him. He's also very polite, incredibly polite in fact. He will call you Buddy and you will call him Pal, and it's just interesting to have someone that has a little bit of, let's just say, personality and uniqueness as opposed to just another Protectron in any one of your settlements. In this guide, we went through some secrets that I think might have been new to you, and if you want to learn more secrets in Fallout 4, then click on the video you see on the screen right now. Fallout 4 has a number of different secret areas, locations, and so on, so perhaps in the video you see on the screen now, I might add something new to your Fallout 4 knowledge. Click to find out.